The Pentagon, long a fortress of tradition and secrecy, is now facing a shockwave unlike any in its recent history. For decades, this iconic building has symbolized the unyielding power and bureaucracy of the U.S. military establishment, but now, winds of change are blowing through its corridors. Elon Musk, the maverick entrepreneur known for disrupting industries from cars to rockets, has been appointed to lead a sweeping audit of the Department of Defense, with a laser focus on the Navy's troubled shipbuilding programs. His mission, to bring a fresh perspective and shake up the status quo. The White House's newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has tasked Musk with rooting out decades of waste, inefficiency, and bureaucratic inertia in military procurement. The hope is that his outsider's eye will spot what insiders have long ignored. President Trump, never one to shy away from bold moves, believes Musk's outsider status and relentless drive can cut through layers of red tape and uncover billions in fraud, abuse, and mismanagement that have plagued the Pentagon for years. The Navy's shipbuilding, notorious for cost overruns, endless delays, and ballooning budgets, is Musk's first and most urgent target. Billions of taxpayer dollars are at stake, and the pressure is on to deliver results. But not everyone is convinced. Critics warn of potential conflicts of interest, since Musk's own companies are already major defense contractors. They question whether Silicon Valley's rapid-fire, risk-taking methods can truly mesh with the military's complex, high-stakes operations. Supporters, however, see a rare opportunity for radical change. They believe Musk's fast-paced, fail-fast approach could finally break the military's entrenched culture of caution and inertia, ushering in a new era of innovation and accountability. Every Navy contract, schedule, and project plan is now under Musk's relentless microscope. He's determined to leave no stone unturned, no detail overlooked in his quest to overhaul the system. The Navy stands on the brink of transformation. Ready or not, a new era is about to begin, and the world is watching to see if Musk can deliver on his audacious promises. The Navy's next Ford-class supercarrier, CVN-80, will be christened the USS Musk, a break from tradition that's ignited fierce debate and captured national attention. Originally set to be the USS Enterprise, the last-minute change signals the White House's embrace of Musk's disruptive influence and bold vision. Supporters hail it as a tribute to innovation and progress. Critics call it a politicization of sacred military tradition. The USS Musk, launching in 2025, ties the Navy's future to Musk's ideals: technological edge, cost-effectiveness, and challenging the status quo. For some, it's a bold step forward. For others, a step too far in redefining tradition. As the ship takes shape, it becomes a floating symbol of a new era in American naval power and ambition. Musk's critique of military spending goes beyond budgets. He questions the very way America fights. He sees the future in swarms of autonomous drones, not billion-dollar manned jets like the F-35. Thousands of networked drones launched from carriers or remote bases could overwhelm enemies at a fraction of the cost. This doctrine prioritizes quantity, adaptability, and risk-taking, removing human pilots from harm's way. Musk's vision challenges the purpose of the modern aircraft carrier. If drones are the future, do we need supercarriers at all? The Navy is integrating unmanned systems, but Musk wants a rapid, total shift. He likens clinging to manned fighters to cavalry after the tank, outdated and dangerous. His ideas force the Navy to confront uncomfortable questions about its future. As Musk pushes for reform, the U.S. Navy faces a new and rapidly evolving threat: China's so-called carrier killer missiles, the DF-21D and DF-26. These advanced weapons are designed specifically to target and destroy American aircraft carriers, which have long been the backbone of U.S. naval power and global influence. With ranges stretching thousands of miles, these missiles can strike carriers far before they approach the Chinese coastline. This forces U.S. ships to operate at much greater distances, dramatically reducing their ability to project power, launch airstrikes, or support allies in the region. The mere presence of these missiles has already begun to alter naval strategy and planning. The strategic math is shifting. Why invest billions in massive, vulnerable carriers when they can be neutralized by far cheaper, more numerous missiles? The cost-benefit equation that once favored carriers is now under intense scrutiny, as adversaries invest in asymmetric technologies to level the playing field. Musk's vision of drone swarms could offer a revolutionary solution, deploying long-range, expendable drones from ships operating in safer waters. These unmanned systems could penetrate China's formidable defenses, gather intelligence, and even strike targets, all while keeping human crews out of harm's way. In response, the Navy is racing to develop new countermeasures, advanced missile defenses, and entirely new operational concepts. But the fundamental question remains: can the carrier adapt, or is its era coming to an end? The rise of carrier killers challenges the very foundation of American power projection, forcing military leaders and strategists to rethink decades of doctrine and investment. Is the aircraft carrier still the centerpiece of the fleet, or has it become a vulnerable relic in the face of new missile threats and technological change? As Musk's vision gains traction, the Navy is forced to confront this existential threat head-on, exploring bold new ideas and technologies to maintain its edge. The answer to this challenge will not only determine the future of the U.S. Navy, but also shape the balance of power in the Pacific for generations to come. The debate is no longer theoretical, it's a matter of survival, and the world is watching to see how America's sea power will adapt to this new era. The Ford-class carriers, including the USS Musk, are packed with revolutionary tech, most notably the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS. EMALS replaces steam catapults with electromagnetic power, allowing smoother, more precise launches and supporting both heavy jets and lightweight drones. This versatility is crucial as the Navy shifts toward mixed manned-unmanned air wings. EMALS, once controversial, now aligns perfectly with Musk's electric expertise. The Ford class's immense electrical power makes it the ideal testbed for Musk's drone swarm vision. These ships could become floating laboratories for the future of warfare. Ironically, the very technology that could make carriers obsolete is being perfected on the USS Musk. The Navy's embrace of EMALS is a leap into the unknown, one Musk is eager to lead. Musk's arrival has reignited the Navy's core debate: modernization versus tradition. Modernizers see Musk as the catalyst needed to break bureaucratic inertia and adapt to new threats like hypersonic missiles and drones. They argue for distributed, unmanned systems over a few vulnerable supercarriers. Traditionalists counter that the carrier's mobility, firepower, and sovereign presence remain unmatched. They believe evolving defenses and a mix of manned and unmanned aircraft keep the carrier relevant. To them, Musk's ideas are unproven and risky, threatening a system that's worked for decades. The Navy's identity hangs in the balance, caught between proven power and radical change. The outcome of this debate will define American naval power for a generation. The Musk effect is reshaping the Navy and global security. With his bold vision and relentless drive for innovation, Elon Musk has become a catalyst for change in one of the world's oldest and most powerful military institutions. His influence is sparking conversations that reach far beyond the Pentagon, challenging assumptions about how nations defend themselves in the 21st century. Musk's presence has forced a rare public debate about military spending, strategy, and the very nature of power. Lawmakers, military leaders, and the public are now questioning not just how much is spent, but how it's spent, and whether traditional approaches can keep up with the pace of technological change. The stakes have never been higher, as every decision could tip the balance of global power. If the Navy pivots to drone swarms and distributed lethality, adversaries like China and Russia will have to rethink their own strategies. The emergence of autonomous systems and networked warfare could render old tactics obsolete, forcing rivals to adapt or risk falling behind. This technological leap could redefine what it means to project power across the world's oceans. This could trigger a new arms race in AI and autonomous warfare, fundamentally altering global security. Nations may rush to develop smarter, faster, and more resilient systems, raising the stakes for everyone. The rules of engagement and even the definition of victory could be rewritten in this new era of competition. But the transition is risky. Moving too fast could leave the US vulnerable if new tech fails, while moving too slow risks obsolescence. The Navy must balance innovation with caution, ensuring that new systems are reliable and effective before they become the backbone of national defense. Every step forward is a calculated gamble with enormous consequences. Musk's legacy will depend on whether his disruption leads to a stronger, more adaptable force, or a weakened one chasing an unproven dream. The choices made today will echo for generations, shaping not just the Navy, but the entire landscape of global security. The USS Musk stands as a symbol of this pivotal moment, It represents both the promise and the uncertainty of a future defined by rapid innovation and bold leadership. The Navy's course, balancing tradition and transformation, will shape global power for decades. As new technologies emerge and old alliances are tested, the world's eyes remain fixed on how the U.S. adapts to these challenges. The world is watching, as the U.S. Navy charts its future, one that may look nothing like its past. In this era of uncertainty and opportunity, every decision will help define the next chapter of global security.